and welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host, Juan Cena, and today's episode will be a very special episode. So we'll give you, the listener, an inside look on the IWAR booking committee. On occasion, I'll use different people as sounding boards for different ideas, whether it be Matt or Steven, Ryan. For example, there are people in the past that I've used to throw ideas off the wall, they throw them back, and then you usually come to a pretty good conclusion on where an angle or an event is supposed to go. So, for this particular conversation, this will be a conversation that I had with Michael Swanson Jr. regarding our next IWL pay-per-view. Hey, bud, what's going on?
Not much. How's it going, man?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. So this will be our first episode of the IWAR booking committee. I have some ideas regarding our next IWL pay-per-view, which is Fortuned or Fired. Now, for me, I do like the concept of Fortuned or Fired and the overall match, and Ryan's done a great job with it over the years. The only thing that sticks to my craw a little bit is the fourth prize, which is the fired part. I like the fortune part, don't really care for the fired part, because imagine if you had to pay for an event, you get entry, you're excited, and then you end up at the end of the day having to leave the league.
Especially for someone like me with a small roster. I've got one guy, so if I'm in there and I get fired, then yeah.
You're not going to be a happy camper. And again, I try.
Not really, no.
I try my best to make sure that everyone's a happy camper. So I'm thinking about changing the fourth prize into a shot at the World Southern Championship. So in terms of the overall match, Michael, what I'm looking for is a complete overhaul, a revamp of the pay-per-view. Of course, we're going to have the event, whatever we're going to call that, in addition to, our regular slew of pay-per-view matches. What we're going to have to do prior to this event is that we're going to have to discontinue any tournaments for number one contender shots, for any of the belts, and the 4-pack challenge, and really focus on this event. Again, this will be a paid event, so everyone's going to have to pay their buck, and I hate to gouge everyone for money, especially during holiday time, but I think the prizes and stuff that we can come up with will more than outweigh, the dollar that you're spending to get entry to this event.
I don't know, man. $1 is pretty steep.
Well, if you looked at the return on investment I got on the last NWL pay-per-view contest, you'll see
this
that.
Is true.
Yes.
And we'll also look at
we have Battle Royal ladder match. We have war games. We're doing a lot of stuff. Although the prizes are big, again, your money goes towards a larger prize. So we'll make sure it doesn't go into like my pocket. It doesn't go to the IWA's pocket. Now, there's been a lot of noise about these 50-50 events that they've had in other leagues. All my events that I've ever ran have been 100-0. That means 100% of your money goes in the pool for the prize. I don't know why the IWA allows me to do that, but for some reason they do, and bless them for it.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. So again, we had a big prize, $50 for the Rumble in the Bronx. We had a $30 prize for the King of the Ring, which was not a paid event. So you guys got that for free. I work my magic and have to bribe people with cash and other favors to get that kind of stuff done. So looking at the lay of the land for events and contests, if we're really looking to revamp, now Fortune or Fired, from what I remember, is essentially a reverse battle royal when you go up and grab, different briefcases, and then the briefcases have different prizes in them, and then one having a pink slip.
Yes.
But we do a ladder match battle royal already, which is also a paid event, and it's IWAR wide, so I want to stay away from that. If we're looking to do another Royal Rumble type event, well, guess what?
Wrestle Riot or Soul Survivor?
Good point. I think you're right. I think it is Soul Survivor's next, then it's Wrestle Riot. My short-term memory is terrible, so
that's why I keep us around.
Yeah, no, I'm just the idea guy. I'm not the.
Do have a question now. Are you looking for a one and done kind of match, or more of a series kind of thing?
I think it's going to have to be. It won't be over the cycles. It will be a one-night event.
Gotcha. So a lot of your tournaments, round robins, that kind of stuff are going to be out.
Yeah. Again, they do Bound for Glory, IWAR wide, which is our equivalent to the G1, to use modern wrestling equivalent. We do so many events as it is at this point, is that it's going to be extremely difficult to come up with an original concept, an original idea, and that's why I'm talking to you to come up with an original concept and an original idea, so we can have this event be super exciting and super awesome. And I don't even have a name for it, but for some reason, like I keep on having Starrcade in my head. It's like, can you just name an event Starrcade? I think I can name an event Starrcade. No one's using Starrcade. WWE owns the rights to Starrcade. They're not using it. Why couldn't the IWL use the name Starrcade? Is that a lack of originality from my part? Yes, because I steal all my good ideas anyway.
In the words of Jim Cornette, if you steal from one person, it's plagiarism. If you steal from a lot of people, it's research.
Damn right it is.
It was research.
Darn tootin'.
Well, then again, you're also doing the Bunkhouse Stampede soon, so...
Yeah, really, really Crockett-orientated, huh? Not a bad way to be, though.
Crockett or Dusty Rhodes, one of the two.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm going to use the Survivor Series or something like that. Or World War III, which is awful.
You still got War Games going on.
We got War Games. We do the Lethal Lottery and the NWL. It's like we do I always enjoy the Lethal Lottery part. I don't really enjoy the Battle Bowl part. Because those are usually pretty shitty, historically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like the concept of, random teams getting paired up, to win a prize. I always thought that was cool. And not only do I do a Lethal Lottery, the CWO does a Lethal Lottery. And the Lone Wolf League does a Lethal Lottery, too. So that idea has been beaten to death.
And personally, I really like Lethal Lotteries because I've done well in the two that I've been in.
Yeah.
I won the first Lethal Lottery that we had in the NWL. It was Christian Knighton. Mike Mason and Christian Knighton won that one.
Yeah.
And then Mike Mason made it to the finals in the Four Corners Invitationals.
Yeah.
Lethal Lottery, right up my alley. Somehow I do well in that one. Other tournaments, not so much.
Well, join the club, buddy. I guess we have to look at different gimmick matches. So what are some gimmick matches out there that are ripe for use?
Oh, let's see. How about a giant tuxedo battle royal? Joking.
Wait. There's a crumb of a good idea in there. There is literally a crumb of a good idea here. Where
which crumb?
No, I'm seeing it now. Where it's an event, like a no holds barred, like junkyard battle royal, but instead of taking part in a junkyard, it takes place at the office Christmas party, where everyone has to wear ugly Christmas sweaters. Because I've been to my share of Christmas parties, and those get kind of stuff like that fucking happens.
I can see that. I don't know. Someone's choking somebody with garland or tinsel, and
because it's going to take place.
There's a lot of possibilities there. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, imagine a scenario where you're having this fight, and you're at you're going to your family's for Thanksgiving, and someone gets hit in the head with a turkey. It's ridiculous, but shit. So was the Raw Bowl, but they put it on TV. So let's take a look at the list here.
I'm making a note of this one though. We're going to use that later on though.
Oh, I'll use it for something. It's funny because sometimes I go back to conversations I have. I'm like, there's a nugget of an idea in there, and I can use that.
Christmas sweater free for all.
Yeah, maybe we can do that as earlier on the show. Should it be something on a poll? Like no one does poll matches anymore.
Could do that.
Like everyone does. They have the ladder, right? Well, instead you have the briefcases with four poles around the ring.
Oh well, didn't they do that in the around 2000 in WCW, where there's 4 different crates on each one of the things, each one of the.
Yeah, and the Cruiserweight Championship fell out of it.
No, it was the world title.
Was it? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Did Booker T win that?
He won that one. And actually, he's got the case, and it falls out of the side. Which side was gimmicked, and it fell right out onto the floor.
WCW. Typical WCW.
Vince Russo. I blame him for that one.
Ooh, how about spin the wheel, make the deal?
I've thought about that one. Having gimmicked out matches throughout the whole thing.
So picture a gimmick style tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the two combatants have to go in front of a wheel, and then they would spin it, and then it'd be a different a different gimmick match on the wheel.
Who gets to spin it?
I would probably be a neutral party.
Yeah, because I can see, you got like this hot heel and this, over baby face, and they just get into a brawl right there, fighting over who gets to spin the wheel.
Oh yeah,
which would be funny. But yeah, having someone like Sam Soley or Rob Race would actually be perfect for that bit.
Yeah.
Actually, Sam Soley would be perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a tournament with a different gimmick match for each one of the matches.
I mean, it'd be interesting in terms of the write-up for it, which would mean we would need write-ups for, like, for example, I'm putting together this massive King of the Ring pay-per-view, but if we would have done write-ups for all the matches,
oh, good Lord.
It would have been like 25 matches. There's 13 matches on the card prior to the tournament, with guys going 2 or 3 times already, as it was. So that would have been easily a 50-page pay-per-view. So I did a thing for that pay-per-view where I have Tully Schiavone we cut to a fictitious video recap. So for this pay-per-view, I had Tully Schiavone cut to a non-existent video package, and then we see the completed bracket, and then you're supposed to imagine the recap in your head, and then we hype up the pay-per-view, and then we go right into the first match, which I think it's a Harry Hinton versus TJ Relic match. This is the first match on the card. Oh yeah, by the way, if you've got me your match write-ups as of yet, please send them over as soon as possible. I have to get it done before I go in for hip surgery at some point. What's a Doomsday cage match, also called the Tower of Doom? Do you remember the Tower of Doom?
3-story cage? Yep.
Yeah. 3 of them in WCW and 1 in fucking Dallas.
Top of the cage at the bottom, where pinfalls and submissions come into play. In Liberty WCW, triple decker cage, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, they used a revamped version of that in that wonderful, wonderful film, Ready to Rumble.
John Cena's in that movie, so don't hate on it.
I don't. Actually, I have the movie in my house. I could actually go plug it in right now if I wanted to.
There wasn't enough nudity in that movie, unfortunately. And it led to David Arquette winning the WCW title, which wasn't a good thing. Although that angle is derided for all the wrong reasons.
Yes. Because
Arquette, it wasn't like he beat somebody. He kind of just landed on top of somebody and won it.
Yes. And he was against it from the start, but,
They turned him heel? It was weird. Anyway.
Again, Vince Russo. Need I say more?
Did he book that?
Yep.
I thought he was gone.
No, he was still there for that one. He was... Yeah, because Vince Russo won it a little bit after Arquette, didn't he?
He got speared through the cage, right?
Yeah.
And he's wearing like the fucking... Like he's all padded up and shit.
The football pads and the helmet, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've done the Elimination Chamber, that's out.
Yeah, we just came off the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
Dumpster match / ride match.
How about a giant Punjabi prison match?
No, fuck that.
Thunder Cage.
I'm curious about gauntlet matches. So, picture this. We start with one dude, and then we run through the entire thing. Or like a guy comes out every 2 minutes and it's pinfall or submission. Like a scramble match. Like, would that be too hard to write?
It depends. You'd have to be really, really, really organized with when and where the pinfalls and submissions took place. The only problem I would see that is very similar to Soul Survivor, just without the cage. And then pinfalls can take place anytime. And there's a couple of slight differences there, but it's really similar. Good idea, though. But then again, if you want to do something like a gauntlet, what if you were to take all of the contestants and then number them 1 through whatever, put them into a random scrambler, a randomizer, and that's your entry order. So, say, even if you're the first person in, sure, it's not ideal, but if you've got a 501 and nobody else does, you can go through everybody.
Yeah.
That could work, doing like a full-on gauntlet like that, and then the last...
that's why I changed our concepts.
Yeah.
Our concepts changed from using the Battle Royal method to using straight-up highest strat wins. Yes. Because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than having a 501, and you should be able to run the table on this event, and you still fucking lose.
To a 493.
Yeah, that's bullshit to me.
Yeah.
it's fair and it's not. But I think everyone is capable of hitting high strats. There's no one in the IWO that's incapable of hitting a high strat any given cycle.
Well, I mean, look at this last cycle. I had a 496, 497. There's a lot of 497s in there that didn't even get regionals.
Yeah, me.
I mean, I retained my commission title. I'm happy. That's all I wanted. But yeah, it's one of those. Every now and then, everyone just does the hit really well, and it gets really competitive. So, and you never know who it's going to be. So the gauntlet match might be a good idea.
I'm just wondering. It's all going to be depends on how many guys we actually get entered into this thing.
That's true. I mean, if you only have 3 guys, what's the point of the gauntlet match?
Yeah, but historically, IWL has done well in terms of getting participation in these events.
That's true. Everyone
pays at the end too, which makes me fucking nervous. I'm like, we only have 4 guys in the thing, and it's like, in the cycle before, I'll get so and so's entered, so and so's entered, so and so's entered. I'm like,
now you redo all my math and all my stuff.
Because I'm thinking about how it was going to play out. At least to have an idea in my head, and it's good to have a get your stuff in early if you can help it. I mean, I understand. Remember, how about this? Remember when they did that thing for the hardcore belt, where it was like an Iron Man match, but it was multi-man. And it was like whoever had whoever had possession of the belt last won.
After the time limit expired, they did that with the Canadian title in the BRO when they first legitimized that one. That was 2016, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm just wondering how it would work with the four belts.
Yeah, how would you keep track of who pinned who last and whatnot?
That might be a good idea down the road for something else. But people tell me that they hate multi-man matches. But
well, it decreases your chances of winning. So
yeah, but have the best. If you're gonna have the best strat, you're gonna have the best strat regardless.
Yeah. Then again, the whole quote object end quote on a pole match.
Do you think the best bet is to have the four belts on a pole on each corner,
or
person, the first guy to retrieve it wins it?
Well, technically, it wouldn't be the belts; it would be the contract for a shot at it. But
yes.
Don't give people the wrong idea now.
No, that's true. I mean, we can come up with something.
Yeah.
Other than a briefcase, because that's done to death at this point.
Whatever you're talking about, no one does Money in the Bank anymore.
I want to do a King of the Roads match just for fun, because that's so ridiculous. That's something Luther could probably pull off.
King of the Roads. Which one was that? Was that
It's the one where they fall in the back of a tractor trailer.
Oh, jeez. Wasn't that Dustin?
Dustin Rhodes and the
Barry Darso?
Bully. Yeah, Barry Darso. Blacktop Bully. So let's refine it. What if it was like we need to have, if we're going to do the pole match, it's going to have something representing what championship, and that could be an interesting dynamic where certain guys are going after certain championships. So think about a scenario where you have tag team guys trying to work to get the tag team championship, and then you have single guys trying to get the IWL heavyweight. Whoever wants the belt, you can actually pair them off in corners a little bit easier, because you can see who wants what. Especially if someone's feuding with someone, or someone just lost their opportunity at the American territories and they want a rematch, that kind of stuff.
Or say someone happens to lose their title and that's an easy way to get a rematch, something like that. Or say you get your rematch and you might lose after you've lost the title, and then that gives you a second opportunity. Or you were a champion in the past and wanted another idea. Instead of pairing them off in each corner, what if you did 4 rings and had people sign up for different matches? Well, then again,
because the way we're going to pull it off is that. So I think it's going to be. I feel like it almost should be on different tiers too. Imagine you had the prizes at different elevations.
That makes sense.
The highest level, it's sort of like King of the Mountain or like top of the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
And you have the IWL heavyweight on top, American Territories next, tag team, and then Brantley, our World Southern Championship, as the last tier. or the first person to grab the thing gets a shot at the top belt. The second, and you can do it in order too, which could change the dynamic. I don't want it to be a game show either, because that'd be ridiculous. Kind of thinking of having like 4 Christmas packages, like 4. Because this will be...
That makes a lot of sense. No, I like that. If it's going to be around the holidays, that's perfect.
Right. So say, okay, on each poll we have 4 different Christmas presents. And then the person who received... you don't know what it is either. So you don't know what present... It's like a fucking grab bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did I ever tell you my grab bag story? So in the basement of my church every year... all the kids would go down to the basement, which was like a cafeteria and shit, and they would have a grab bag. All the parents would bring in presents, and they had the thing, you dip your hand in the bag, you pick out a present, right?
Yeah.
5 years in a row, Parcheesi. I fucking hate Parcheesi, man. And I swear to God, I never fucking opened it, so I'm pretty sure my mom just re-gifted it back to the church, and I got it again. And again, and again. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, I hope it's socked, but it's a giant box. And it's Parcheesi. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh, that's too much.
Story of my life. That's just...
How the fuck does that happen 5 years straight?
No. Why do I keep on going after the same size box? It's ridiculous.
You gotta change it up, man.
You think I would get a smaller box? All right, so we have 4 Christmas presents on a pole. Now, is it a straight-up battle royal? Or are we going to have people... I think we can do straight-up battle royal. Maybe we can make a bigger ring. No one's ever made a bigger ring. They've had 2 rings.
Yeah.
Like, rings are, what, 20 by 20?
Or 40 by 40?
40 by 40. So an extra...
Well, no. Yeah, like a double-sized ring.
A double-sized ring. So it's extra big. You put you have the 2 rings together, we have the 3 rings together, sometimes we stack 3 cages on top of each other. But if we do Christmas presents on a pole match, we do a oversized ring. Maybe we throw some broken glass on the outside. Or
how about some live scorpions?
That gimmick works. Awesome.
I'm going to give you crap about that all the time. Don't forget to sell the scorpions. I know. You told me 12 times.
Don't feel bad. I said the same thing to Luke when he did it this year.
He did a good job. He did.
He did. If you're gonna take anything away from this match, we have live scorpions because it's ridiculous.
Also, love the finish he did.
Yeah, it was really good.
Not as cool as Blank grabbed onto a camera, crane arm and jumping back into the ring, but it was good.
It was good.
Hey, someone's got to put me over, man.
Yeah. I agree.
Right. So, bigger ring.
So 40 by...
on poles. So you said you want to do straight battle royal, or do you want to do more Royal Rumble with
I think we have to have them all in there. Because if I'm the guy, I say I'm number 1, and number 2's coming out to the ring, I'm jumping to get that fucking present.
Oh, yeah.
Like, right off the bat. So I think everyone has to be in. And then we can spill out. There can be brawls on the floor. There can be brawls in the crowd. Hold on. Ice Train is coming through. All right, so to recap, we're going to have an oversized ring. There's going to be Christmas presents on each corner on a pole. It's going to be a battle royal. Should everyone be wearing Christmas sweaters? I feel that should be a thing.
You know what? I say do it. Even if they don't want to, it's going to be in the write-up.
My character will never wear a Christmas sweater. Imagine Blue Demon Jr. wearing a fucking Christmas. Like Luther would do it. He wears Christmas sweaters on the regular anyway. That's the good thing about his character. You can put him in the most ridiculous situations, and it makes sense every single time.
That's fantastic.
Battle Royal, presents on a pole, and guys, I know people are gonna be listening to this and be like, "What the fuck? Are they fucking drunk? Like, what are they talking about?" I'm talking about the greatest event in the history of our sport. Don't you understand?
The more gimmicks you have, the better it is.
Well, yeah.
Ask Bill Watts.
See, that's funny because Watts is known as a traditionalist, right? But that motherfucker had gimmick matches up the fucking ass. Like, holy shit. And people are surprised. I was like, he did more stuff than Memphis, WWF, WCW combined. He wasn't shy. But he's a sell it. He's a sell it. That's what I try to do with. Like we joke about the live scorpions. That's why I say sell it that way, because you want to sell it like someone's going to fucking die. Because if you don't sell it that way, it's ridiculous.
Well, and then with the whole thing with Bill Watts, I mean, even on the DVD of Legends of Mid-South, there's a match on there that is between Jim Duggan and Ted DiBiase. It's a tuxedo, coal miner's glove on a pole cage match for the North American title. I mean,
it's loser leaves too. It's loser leaves.
And they put in as mmany gimmicks, 4 or 5 gimmicks into this whole match. And
if that happened today, fucking internet fucking marks would fucking lose their fucking mind. But Bill Watts was able to do it. Should we have blindfolds? Should everyone be hooded? So picture a 30-man blindfolded Christmas present on a pole match.
With ugly sweaters.
With ugly sweaters. Maybe the blindfolds are too much.
Yeah.
The concept of a blindfold battle royal is interesting to me, though, all on its own. But someone has to get blind. Someone's going to have to get like hit with arrogance in the face for that to work.
Yeah, I remember watching that as a kid. That whole angle.
Do we elevate the ring? Can the ring be another 10 feet off the ground?
Easy, Sparky. Easy.
All right, so what do we call this thing? Because we already have seasons beatings. That's NWL pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Let me. You know what's a good way to? What's some horror Christmas movies? I have a list here. All right, so I got top 20. We got Black Christmas, but people might think that's racist. Silent Night.
Evil Night, Deadly Night, yeah. Krampus. Nightmare Before Christmas, that's interesting. Don't Open Till Christmas. To All Good Night. Jack Frost. Santa's Sleigh. Santa's Sleigh is actually a pretty good movie. It has Goldberg. Sleigh, spelled S-L-A-Y, correct?
Yes, it has Goldberg in it.
Ha!
Goldberg is Santa Claus in that movie.
One hell of a Christmas.
Christmas Cruelty. That's interesting. Jack Frost. All right, so no help here so far. Holiday Horror. Again, you want to be non-denominational, right?
Yeah.
The Ginger Dead Man.
So bad.
Well, so let's say, for argument's sake, I want to use Starrcade. And then we're going to have, like... Okay, we have Starrcade. And then Starrcade, for many years, used to have the fucking subtitle. Whatever it's called. Like, it was Night of Skywalker's Flint Gold. They stopped doing that for whatever reason. True Grit, which I don't know what that means.
It was a good movie.
Was it? I never watched True Grit. I've had fucking plenty of like Ritz and Grits and shit like that.
No, True Grit, that was a John Wayne movie.
That's why Dusty fucking named it that. Because Dusty thought he was John Wayne.
Oh, yeah?
So they had titles every year until 95. So there was a Flair for the Gold, the $1 Million Challenge, which is an interesting name, especially if I can get $1 million of iCash attached to that, maybe. The Gathering, which Dusty must have loved fucking Highlander. Night of the Skywalkers, Chi-Town
That was
Heat.
86. This Gathering.
That's 85. Skywalkers were 86.
Okay.
Because that was... it was Flair and Dusty main eventing third year in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. 87 Chi-Town Heat. 88 True Grit. 89 Future Shock. 90 Collision Course. Starrcade 91, 92 were the Battle Bowl, Lethal Lottery. 93 was the 10th anniversary. Triple Threat was 94, and the World Cup of Wrestling was 95. There's an Otani Eddie Guerrero match on that show, which is awesome. So if I do an event called Starrcade 17, the $1 Million Challenge, I get the IWA to front $1 million of iCash, featuring.
Ooh. There's another gimmick.
What?
For the contestants, something to add to the prize.
Yeah.
Not only do you pay in like the $1, but maybe put up some iCash on the line too, as like a buy-in.
Okay. Say if it's
Well,
a $10,000 buy-in. Is
yeah,
that too little? Like, I don't really even look at like we don't use iCash or anything else. We might as well, even if it's $100,000. That would $100,000 buy-in exclude anyone from the event?
ooh, I would have to look up people's standings. Give me 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
My downloads and look up the most recent bulletin. 73. Yep. Give us a couple seconds to open up. 6 million, 2 million, 10 million, 3 million. Some of the younger guys, like the business boys.
Where are they at in terms of cash?
What was it? This one was strictly business. He's about just under 500,000.
All right.
But most people are fairly up there, close to $1 million.
So let's say if we split the difference and we go $100,000 buy-in, would 99% of the people able to pull that off?
Yeah, should be fine.
So we'll do a $100,000 buy-in. You pay your buck, and then we just need to name the actual contest name. Or maybe it can just be the $1 Million Challenge. We could just call it the $1 Million Challenge. Starcade 17, the $1 Million Challenge. And what the $1 Million Challenge is that 4 corners, four prizes, 4 presents on a pole. Whoever gets, it's gonna be hard to explain, but I think if written the right way, you have a ring. It's 40 by 40, and they combinate all the extra wrestlers. You have a pole 15 feet from the ground. You have 4 presents that Santa had left, each of them containing a contract for a different IWL Commissioners Championship. And then the prizes will be distributed unevenly to the 4 contestants. 50%, 25%, 10%, and 5%. So that'd be IWA. So your prize at the end of the deal.
Would it be 15 and 10%?
What I say? I said 25 and 10? Yeah, 15 and 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 and 10.
There we go.
50%, 25, 15 and 10. The same way the IWA credit and the iCash will be distributed the same way. And then your first place would get the IWL heavyweight, your second place would get America's Territories, third place would get tag team, and the fourth place would get the World Southern Championship. And that will be at our following pay-per-view, which I think is Soul Survivor. Yes. Which will be Soul Survivor. So I think that works.
It's not too bad.
It probably sounds better in a write-up than it would us trying to explain it.
Yeah, because the write-up on that wouldn't be too bad. It's not as bad as... it'd be a little bit more similar to Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Which is... people have done it before. It's not...
Well, because it's not an elimination either. You don't have to worry about pinfalls.
No.
And you don't even have to worry about like chucking someone over the top rope. So you can get rid of all that. You can do different steps in different spots. So and so attacks so and so. If this person's in the feud, they can pair off and bludgeon each other to death with a chair or something. Take each other out, and then
exactly.
So and so.
Until you get to your finishes, and you can even stagger those out if you want to
Yeah.
until the last one is taken down.
Yeah.
Then everyone has to flat out and break up all the fights that are still going on.
So I think in terms of a wrap that could work. I think it's probably easier to write and probably easier to understand because you're not cutting back and forth to finishes. You're not having 30 pinfalls in a match.
It's not Soul Survivor. That was a lot of fun to write.
So if I make you do that again, you're not going to do it?
That depends.
You're going to take vacation that week.
Yeah, I'll be in Aruba that particular week, so I won't be able to do any writing. I'm sorry.
I'll find another sucker. It's all right.
Now that I've done it once, it'd be easier to do it again since I've got an idea of what I'm doing and how to better organize and prepare.
Yeah, I think we can do some fun, we can do some fun holiday related stuff because I'll probably end up taking place between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay, cool.
I see a scenario where Luther comes down in a Christmas fucking sleigh. He probably he's probably going to fly out to Russia right after that because he has seasons beings that always takes place in Russia because he's such a nefarious commissioner that he makes everyone fly to Russia on
Siberia.
Christmas. Yeah, on Christmas to fight for his amusement.
It's like he's from Rocky IV or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
Nothing wrong with that. It was a great movie.
No, fantastic. It's my favorite. Okay, so I think Starcade the $1 Million Challenge, Starcade 17 the $1 Million Challenge is where we're gonna go. Ryan's probably really mad at me because I'm not calling it Fortune or Fired anymore. But I think it's gonna be a good show. No, it's gonna be up to everyone else if they. The reason why King of Ring works so well is that there's so many feuds leading into that.
Yeah.
So that that's a WrestleMania type quality show, not a deal.
It turned out really good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all the write-ups yet, and just all the matches that were going into that.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be long, but I don't think length matters anymore because I don't have to worry about that. The IWA cutting me down because they gotta send out 25 pages. Yeah. It's on PDF now, so they don't have any issues. So I'm not saying guys should have 10-page matches. Because that would be you don't want to read a novel when you're trying to read this deal. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But I think we have a good jumping off point. I might have to refine some bits now. We're in August. We're talking about something that's going to happen in early December. So there's some time there. Because we still have the next pay-per-view, which is a Night of Honor.
Yep.
So that's coming up soon. So, get your feuds ready to go on that. I think it's gonna be fantastic. You're gonna have Ulysses Monroe in his quest to win the IWL heavyweight championship. So, I really want to center it around the Monroes and their stuff. So, I think that's gonna be good. And if you guys owe me write-ups, I think I got just about all of them. But if you guys owe me write-ups, please send them to me. If you guys owe me anything in terms of work, please send them to me early. I want to try to get done early this time because I will be having surgery.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm real happy.
It's been a long time.
You are telling me, my friend. So, so anything else? I know we have some restructuring to do, some reshuffling to do in terms of something creative for next cycle. About that in our next Tubecast, which I don't know if you guys noticed, but they're coming hot and heavy now. The idea was to try to give you guys as much content as possible, as much content as you guys can actually stand before you guys start throwing it up. So that's kind of the ideas. And then we have other projects that are also on its way. We have we're going to be recording a new 1983 NWA 1983 project, which would be the SummerSlam preview show. So we get my thoughts on what's going on for SummerSlam. I know Matt is currently rewatching a lot of the Raws and SmackDowns the last couple of weeks. I can't watch Raw. It makes me go to the bathroom. I don't know why. I don't watch SmackDown fine, but even that now is getting kind of hard to take. We'll have a new Retro Wrestling Games Presents, and this will be Fire Pro Wrestling 6-Man Scramble, and that was for the Sega Saturn. So a new review coming up for that game in honor of Fire Pro Wrestling World coming out last month. If you guys haven't played Fire Pro Wrestling, it's probably the greatest wrestling game of all time. At least it's the most deepest and most in-depth game where, to be honest, you can beat anyone at any time period and have it all make sense, and it's really good. And you could actually watch those matches and they actually build up like real matches. So nice to get a worldwide release on a Fire Pro game. They're historically Japanese exclusives. I've had to mod consoles or buy Japanese consoles just to play these games. Because they're that good. So be on the lookout for those shows coming up. And then we have, since I have you on the line right now, we do have, me and Michael are going to do a show, and it's going to be dissecting certain eras of wrestling. And the first era that we're going to do, which the show's still untitled, we still have to come up with her name on this.
We'll think of something.
Yeah, we always do. Our first show is going to be regarding the New Generation era, which is historically derided and historically bad, and for good reason. But we're going to get pretty in-depth on how did it happen, how did we get there, who are the players involved, how the industry changed from your kind of your late 80s, early 90s golden age, I guess second golden age, because there's two pops or two bumps in business. There's one at 3 and one at 5. But as we get into life without Hulk Hogan, life without the Ultimate Warrior, Savage is still around, but he wouldn't be long for this world either. And how do we get to Bret Hart's ascension as the WWF champion, the rise of Shawn Michaels, Yokozuna, the Lex Express, Steiner has joined the WWF, which is weird all on its own.
Yeah.
The rise of occupational gimmicks like your IRSs and your Duke the Dumpster Drosies and those.
Doink
those
the Clown, Teal Hopper.
Yeah, just Aldo Montoya, who was awful. And then we had the invention of Monday Night Raw in that time frame as well. So
That's true.
So it's gonna be a lot of area to cover. It will be a multi-part show before we get into our next topic. But I think if we go super in depth, especially I have a lot of stuff to say about the Lex Express and poor Lex Luger. He's always getting screwed. I'm a Lex Luger apologist. I don't know if many people know that. I'm also a Dungeon of Doom apologist as well. So my Smart Mark card has been ripped up on many occasions as it is. So Michael, what are you looking for most? And taking a look at the New Generation.
One, the Lex Express, because that was a really big angle that got a lot of publicity. It was really pushed really hard and then kind of fizzled. Would love to get more in depth in that. Also, the circumstances surrounding Bret Hart's first title win.
Yeah.
I've been reading up on that. There's a lot of really interesting stuff and a lot of variables that people don't know about that were going on at the time. It's really cool stuff going on with Savage, with Flair, problems with Ultimate Warrior. All these different little things led up to him being champion. And a lot of it just these new faces that came, all the new stars that emerged out of this from a lot of these older generation going elsewhere, doing other things, and just being out of the picture and giving these new guys a chance to shine. And that's an era that I started off with, Hogan and Piper and Savage in the late 80s.
I stopped watching. I was 100% all in on WCW at the time. So a lot of this stuff, although I know the particulars of it, I never watched because I was watching, Ron Simmons versus Vader and shit.
Which I would have loved to have watched if I had the opportunity. I didn't have that where I was. I had 4 channels. I didn't have cable or anything. So I was stuck with,
You're telling me that you didn't get WCW Worldwide on WGN?
Nope.
It's ridiculous.
I had NBC, CBS, ABC, and public access.
Tell you something funny about New York. We had, I counted one time, it was 16 hours worth of wrestling on our TV. And some of it being cable, but a surprising amount on bait. Like we had Worldwide on, no, we had Pro, WCW Pro, and that was on our CBS affiliate. So at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sundays, WCW Pro came on. Everything from Saturday night to main event to there's weird weekday shows like AWA, AWF, ECW. It was like 95, 96. It's like, and I watched as much wrestling, back then as I do now. Now I get to pick what I want to watch instead of sitting through awful jobber matches.
Yeah.
Or watching, Tito Santana versus Terry Taylor in 1996. I'm thinking, that's on. I'm just going to watch it. So I'm really excited about the New Generation era. Again, as we get deeper into the timeline, we want to talk about Kevin Nash, and he wins the belt. Bob Backlund comes back. He wins the belt.
Yep.
Razor Ramon main eventing pay-per-views months after he arrived, which is amazing. Yoko winning the Royal Rumble.
Remember that?
Up until it's always difficult to define eras in wrestling. So I think we define the beginning of this era as when Bret Hart wins the belt, right?
Yeah. What was
the
it?
end of the
September, October of 92 up to about somewhere in 96.
Yeah. October 10th, 1992. Aired on October 17th. Aired on October 17th on a episode of Superstar. I just watched that show. That's why I know the date. Because it's like our YouTube. And all the stuff is available on YouTube, which is great. Makes my life a lot easier. And then obviously we have the pay-per-views on the network that, you know, a lot of people who do like review shows or they talk about different stuff that, you know, they just watch the pay-per-views. They go pay-per-view to pay-per-view. Maybe they'll catch a Saturday Night Main Event or a Clash of Champions or what have you. But for you to truly understand what the hell is going on, especially back then when we're talking 4 to 5 months in between pay-per-views, so much stuff has changed from one pay-per-view to another. You have to watch the TV. You have to watch, you know, 12 episodes of Superstars.
Look at that last half of 92.
Oh
We're doing from between SummerSlam and Survivor Series. You've got from the end of SummerSlam, you've got new world champion, you've got a new intercontinental champion, different feuds going on.
You're not even talking about the tag team belts. That whole angle with the Nasty Boys and the Natural Disasters and Money Inc. And Jimmy Hart screwing everyone that ends up with fucking Money Inc. It's craziness. And then, you know, towards the end we have the Austin Ascension.
Yeah.
And then we have the shenanigans with the ringmaster and Mark Merrill's in there doing crazy shit, and
he's just doing Johnny B. Bad.
Vince really wanted Johnny B. Bad, but
he
didn't own Johnny B. Bad, so he was the wild man. I go off on the next show on the project. I'm going to go off on Vince and how he's finally lost complete connection to his wrestling audience, and I think he should be kind of treated like George Lucas, where you need to keep him away from the stuff that he created as far away as humanly possible, because he just has really different ideas, and in my opinion, Triple H needs to be running it. And
so in this case, are you correlating Roman Reigns to Jar Jar Binks?
Ooh, it's hard because there have been a lot of Jar Jar Binks under Vince's watch.
Yeah.
Look
Roman
at you,
Reigns
Baracus.
is a conversation for another time, because I'm one of the few people that doesn't hate him.
I don't hate him either. He has good matches.
He does.
He has good matches. I like him. It's just he's been booked like dog shit. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. They love Ambrose. They love Rollins. They fucking hate Roman Reigns. He's probably in a worse position than Kevin Nash, and that's a hot take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard that. Well, this is a conversation for another time, but I heard their position is changing on Roman Reigns because his merchandise sales were strong last quarter. So there you go. You get pushed on merchandise sales now. So instead of in-ring ability or houses, because they're not drawing anything either. So that's a whole other conversation. You've seen some of these house shows that are half fucking full.
Yep.
You know? So what are you gonna do? So we are officially out of time. So thank you for joining us on the IWAR Network Booking Committee. I'm looking to do more of these in the future, and then we're gonna rotate hosts in and out. You might see Matt on here, you can see Jake on here, and if you guys are interested in joining the show, please drop me a line and download some Skype. Rumor has it that I guess I'm going to have a couple of controversial guests in the not so distant future, so be on the lookout for that as well. So anything to leave us on, Michael?
Nope, I think we covered everything that we need to with this, and then we opened up a couple of can of worms that we will get into another time. But everyone just keep plugging away, and may the strats be in your favor.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night.